Welcome to DCL Talk Show on DCL Radio. Today is June 8th. We are supposed to do this one. Our regular show is on Thursday. Yesterday I was busy, so we don't want to miss the show, so we are doing it today. The best part of this week is the first century of DCL 2018. We have seen that one, and there was a hat trick also on the same day and the same pitch. It's going to be a very exciting discussion today. Before I start, Imthi will join around 9:15 to the show. Until then, it's going to be a show of KK and Jasneet. Welcome, KK.
Thank you, Jagan. I'm on.
Okay.
Welcome all the listeners. Yep, it's been a couple of weeks since I joined, and thank you, Jagan, for accommodating my request. And I hope we'll have a nice show today. Especially, I still remember in the first show of this year, I mentioned that we'll have multiple centuries this year, and the first one came, so I'm very happy, obviously. And without any much further ado, let's get into the show.
Okay, welcome, Jasneet.
Yep, thanks, Jagan, and exciting times. And another special thing about this week, I think, is that we had our first week of the season where all the matches were completed without rain interrupting it. So, welcome all the listeners.
First week we finished all the games, right? Did we miss any games in the first week?
I think yes, there was rain on the, but I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong then. Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, we were able to finish all the games, and again, there's a possibility of chances of rain tomorrow. So you never know. So with that said, I would like to straight away jump into the games. The first game of the night goes to KK, which is FCC Agni versus Safari. This game was umpired by Ganga Tanuj of Bulls and Saad Farooq of Brownstone. KK.
Yeah, there is nothing much to speak about this game, Jagan. Last week, Safaris got all out for 33 this year. They improved a little bit, but 52 is very, very less against a team like FCCI who made it to the playoffs last year. So, none of their batsmen actually contributed in this game, and but the opposition bowling was also good. 5 bowlers actually took the wickets: Sai Kiran, Moon, Rishabh, Ramesh, and Tejasvi Emuri. And I see they didn't even declare a man of the match. They lost 1 wicket and chased down the target in 6 overs. Overall, the match went on only for 19 overs, and I'm not sure what is the record for the lowest number of overs played in a DCL game. But if Safaris continue to play the same way, then I'm sure that record will also be broken.
Okay, so you think there is nothing much to talk about this one?
Nothing much, Jagan, unless they make us talk with the performances.
Okay. The next one is wait a second. I missed my sequence somewhere. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I think it's TCA versus.
The next game is Kites versus TCA. I'm just checking. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's you, Jesse.
Yeah. So I think this was the first game where TCS Stallions got the full game. Actually, maybe I think they were not able to play even a single game which completed before this. So I think it was a pretty clinical performance from TCS Stallions with good contributions in the batting department from Naga and Ishan. Ishan was actually the highest scorer from Stallions, and that too with a strike rate over 100. So with the help of that, 26 runs and 23 from Naga and 12 each from Shan and Devraj, I think, and 11 from Hemant in the slog overs, they were able to complete 120 runs, which is a good total, I would say. You should more. I mean, if 9 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times, you should consider yourself against any opponent if you score 120 with this ball, that you have scored enough, and I think you should be able to defend that until unless there is someone crazy like Akash did to Warriors a couple of weeks back from Mustang's team. But there was no heroics from Kites in the batting department, and there is no significant contribution apart from Ganesh, who took a long time scoring his 11 runs, and I think the pressure of that was being felt on the others, who then tried to up the ante but could not, unfortunately, and bundled out for 61 runs, handing a 59 runs defeat in the hands of TCS Stallions.
Okay, before I go to our next game, this game was umpired by Saurabh Kumar of Raptors and Nilesh Kite of Indus Bowls. Job well done, guys. The next game is actually Tamil Pasanga versus SSK. It's one of the classic, I would call, because the first century is scored in this match. Also, batting first, Tamil Pasanga scored 179, but the chasing was also as good as batting first team. KK.
What is it? This was just a run riot. What scores? 179 in 25 overs and 166 in 25 overs. Both the teams, they played the full quota and they scored at a run rate of 7.16 and 6.64. Any team who scores either of these, 179 or 166, they'll be so happy that they almost won the game. But
somehow we are losing you. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's get into the game. The first century of this year, Arjun Chittimani, and he scored 102 of 78 balls and 6 fours and 7 sixes. I think last year Tamim Moni was leading the charts with the number of sixes. He hit 7 sixes last year in overall DCL, the entire season, and here Arjun hit 7 sixes in a single game. And the change of ball speaks a lot. People have been hitting excess number of sixes, and we saw in the other games too. There were innings with 4 sixes, 5 sixes, and 6 sixes. So definitely this year it's going to be high scoring in most of the games. But again, Arjun, there were a couple of drops, but nevertheless, scoring 100 against any opponent on any day is a special act, and we have to applaud this person, Arjun Chittimani, and he is also named the man of the match for this game. There have been notable contributions for a couple of other players like Suraj and Bhargav, but they scored 179, and maybe they thought we have already won the game at halfway stage. But SSK did not lose many wickets, but somewhere I believe Lingappan played very slow, and probably that might be one of the factors for them falling a little short. But again, we don't know what is the circumstance of the or the situation of the game.
I was watching. I watched last 4 or 5 hours of this game when they were in need of runs. Basically, with wickets in hand, what you try to do is convert ones into twos, whereas these guys weren't doing that one, of course. And some of these batsmen were very nice, where they could have, stolen those overthrows which hit the batsman and got deviated into different areas where Tamil Pasanga's fielders were not there. They could have ran, and and by rules, by law, it is allowed, but they did not take those runs.
Yeah.
Anyhow, they were very slow.
Game, right?
Yeah.
Yep, and very well done, SSK. And probably it's that inexperience which made them not convert those ones into twos. And I think it's just their second year or third year, and probably in a couple of years there'll be a little more improvement in SSK's performance. But again, congratulations to the half centurion as well. 50 out of 44 balls, Siva. He played well. And another notable contribution from Aravind Murali. He hit 35 of 31. In all, this game is just a run riot. And congratulations, Tamil Pasanga, on their first win of DCL.
Yeah, this game was umpired by Avinash of Mustangs and Saurabh Thakur of Bowls. Yeah, another thing is I thought of calling Arjun Chittimani into our show because I was busy last 2 days. I could not get in touch with their captain um, or their or the player. So what I'll do is I'll try to bring him in the next week's show. But regardless, that's one of the best batting show. And I was there at the end. People were talking about the way he hit all those sixers. So congratulations once again to that guy, to Arjun Chittimani. This is the third century in our DCL history, and third guy to score century in our DCL history. Okay, the next one is TCA Knights versus MI Rangers. We will wait for Imthi to come and discuss about that one. And the next one is Falcons versus Lions. Jesse.
Yeah, Jagan. So before covering the Lions versus Falcons game, I think I'd like to know from you, since you've been part of DCL for so long now. I think the match between SSK and Tamil Pasange would be a record for DCL for the combined runs scored by both the teams. I think it's
Exactly.
340 plus. I don't think. Yeah. So So
Most of
that's
the
a new
time,
record that's being
all
set.
in all the 3 centuries that were witnessed before this one, 2 were hit
Those
by
had to be
Arjun Aswani, 1 by Vijay Matta. And in the both cases, the opponents could not, respond properly. Okay, but the way SSK responded to this match was awesome. And losing by 13 runs, I don't think, I have to feel bad about that one. Chasing 179.
Yeah. So that's the reason I thought it has to be a record with 340 plus runs scored in a DCL game. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So and it also indicates that this new ball is going to be a paradise for batsmen.
Yeah, for sure. And
okay.
Now coming over to
the Falcons. Sorry,
yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So coming back to Lions versus Falcons game, I think this was a pretty convincing victory for Falcons. Though the scorecard might reflect that they lost 5 wickets chasing, but I would still consider this a very, very convincing and thumping victory for Falcons. And I still can't get over the fact that Nataraj is number 8 batsman for Lions. I somehow say this as a very bad move, I had to say. Because
I completely agree with this you on this. Last week also somebody mentioned, is that you who mentioned about this one? He's playing down in the order, which is not good for their team.
Yeah, or I'm not saying the batsmen batting above him are not better players than him or are not good players, but I know the game of Nataraj, so I think he's more conducive to playing in top 3 and rotation of the strike is his strength, because he can, if he gets in, he's someone who plays a long innings, who scored those 40s and 50s, and with this ball I think he's if he gets his magic, I think he'll score even more. But for that he has to play more balls, he has to play responsibly, he has to play top the order, so that he has no pressure of the batsmen of or the wickets that the team has already lost. So I think Lions are missing a trick, and I'm not sure who is captain this year, but whoever is, I think Nataraj has to be in top 3 or 4. But coming back to the game, I think Shashidhar was the only guy who scored 17 runs but took 53 balls, and I think that credit has to go to Falcons. They were always a strong bowling side, but in the end, Vijay must have entertained his teammates by hitting those 2 boundaries and scoring 12 runs. But 68 was never going to be enough to trouble Falcons' batting lineup, and Shrikant Ghoni had a good day on the field with the ball, taking 3 wickets and 1 apiece for Venkat, Jayant and Sidhu. And in the batting department, I think Sudhir, who I would like to compare Sudhir with Nataraj here, and that's why the think tank of Falcons team have to be appreciated, because Sudhir and because I've seen both of them, they both almost have similar games. So what Falcons always does with Sudhir is to play him in top three, because they know that he's one guy. If he gets settled, he'll just make the opposition worry or make the opposition irritated because of the strike rotation that he can do. And I think most of the times, if you see Sudhir, unless it's a very bad ball, you won't find too many boundaries, but you won't find a strike rate less than 70, because he's one guy who always looks for singles. And I think that's a lesson that other teams also can take from Falcons, that Sudhir, guy like Sudhir has to be in top three, because one end you have to take hold off and just strike rotate so that others can play freely. And I think Sudhir, after the openers couldn't do much, had a good partnership with Jayant and then Sai, who hit 2 sixes, which was good to see on the scorecard. I'm imagining it must be on the square leg area, which is favorite for Sai, and then Sai and Sidhu doing the formalities and completing a convincing victory for Falcons inside 10 overs.
Okay, very well summarized. This game was umpired by Nikhil of Mustangs and Ravi Ganta of Falcons. Ravi Ganta of Bolts. Sorry, I put it as Falcons. Actually, Ravi Ganta of Bolts, Indus Bolts. Okay, with that, before going into our next game, I would like to welcome our special analyst, Imtiaz. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jagan, and appreciate for having me. Even though it's late, yeah, I'm excited to do today's analysis.
We understand why. So let's get straight away into your game, TCA Knights versus MI Rangers. Okay, this game was umpired by Suyog Gupta of Knockers and Samish Keelam of GLCC. Job well done. Okay, now it's all empty.
Yeah, going into this game, I would like to just remind the fact that we have been seeing like high scores throughout the first few weeks of the league, but surprisingly we have a very low scoring game, and looks like it was a very closely contested game. MI Rangers, after their first defeat in the first game, I think they have come back to the track and have been winning. This game, they won the toss, elected to bat, and trying to put in a decent score. I think they lost a few quick wickets up front, and then in the middle order, when Imthi and Venkat got together, they put up a partnership which was like the backbone of their innings. Venkat Gandham with 26 runs, and we know he's an all-rounder. He's a very good all-rounder, so he must have put up a very brave fight against the bowling lineup and helping the team score those valuable runs. And in the end, they scored 64, which is not a big total. And we have been talking about this with the new changed hard ball. At least 100 is like the par score for the games. 64 going halfway into the game, they might not have been that confident, but again, they must have backed their bowling. And if you look at the bowling figures for TCA Knights, Anil Balreddy with 4 wickets for 12 runs, and 2 wickets each for Rajesh and Pranish. Looks like a decent bowling lineup, and we also can see that in the score, when they got the opponent out for 64. Coming to TCA Knights innings, I think it was, I don't know if they took it very lightly. So looking at the score, did not have a very good start, quick wickets in quick successions. And again, the same man, Venkat Gandham, he had an awesome all-round game in this, picking up 4 wickets. And if you look at the scorecard, there is no good contribution until down the order, where Rajesh and Naveen got together and they tried to put up some resistance, and they tried to chase down the score slowly, scoring 11 runs each, way in the key end of their innings. And maybe it got down very close in the end. And also we see MI Rangers showing up 16 extras. So maybe that also contributed towards their chase. But in the end, they fell short by 6 runs. And I think all credit goes to Venkat Gandham for his brilliant all-round performance. And aptly, his man of the match for the game.
Overall, this is what I see with this one. One, MI Rangers declared themselves. They are known for their bowling, so that's what they did in this match. Okay. The other thing is, if you have right bowling with this ball, it doesn't make any difference. You can defend any kind of total. Is what they said to the league, is what I feel. Okay, with that, let's get into our next game. Rising Stars versus Dynamites. KK.
Yeah, another game which was a thriller, Jagan. Dynamites chased down.
This will be ranked as number 1 in thrillers for this week at least.
Because Rising Stars, they have put on 133, and the Dynamites chased it down. That's really awesome, right?
Yeah. Anytime you are chasing more than 100 is awesome in this league. Period.
And moreover, we have to understand the fact that Dynamites were about 25 for the loss of 5 wickets, and still they were able to score 110 more runs and finish the game, with the last wicket. That is why I call it a very good thriller. So again, for Dynamites, Venkat Govindarajan and Satish Shankara provided the impetus. They put on together about 70 odd runs within very quick succession in 9 overs, and then even though Rising Stars tried with various bowlers, about 8 different bowlers, they were not able to pick that last wicket, and we see Sai Jitendra, who scored those 19 runs in 9 balls at the very end. I think for me, he is the game changer there in the last few overs. Very well done, Dynamics. After their initial loss in the first week, again, this win, that too, the game which they almost lost, they won it back. So that will give them a lot of confidence going into the next game. And congratulations to Dynamics, and hard luck, Rising Stars.
Okay, this game was umpired by Taifour of Gladiators and Musa Zulfikar of Brownstone. I think Musa did only leg umpiring, and Dynamite's captain was not happy with that one. Okay.
Jagan, sorry to stop you, but I want to add one more point here. Drumil Trivedi, he carried the bat for Rising Stars. A point to be noted. He scored 52 runs, stayed through 25 overs, and again, carrying the bat in DCL is always an achievement. And congratulations, Drumil.
Okay. The next game is Dark Horses versus Rockers. Imthi.
Yeah, we are just talking about a thriller game, and looks like this one was another thriller where it was a high-scoring game. But,
these two
and looking at the scorecard, like both these sides played all the 25 overs, so it went down to the last ball eventually, and like Rockers won by just 1 run. So that was like a very closely contested game. Looking at the scorecard, going into the details, Dark Horses won the toss. They elected to field, surprisingly, because DCL usually, whoever wins the toss, they try to bat first and put up a big score. Maybe thinking different, Mahesh opted to bowl, and they started off well, picking up a couple of quick wickets. But then the third wicket partnership between Chandra Mohan and Aditya Hipalgonkar, 46 runs from Aditya. So that's like a big score from an individual. And I don't see the the partnership details here, but yeah, looks like that was a good partnership between them, and then that helped them put up a decent score. In the end, again, some contributions from Gayadhar, and he's an all-rounder. He's a good all-round player, Gayadhar. I have seen him play, and like helping the team score some good runs in the end, looks like, and they eventually ended up scoring 100 and okay, this is upside down, I think. No, I was talking about Rockers batting. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So they scored 114 for 7 wickets.
Yeah.
And then, looking for dark horses. 2 wickets each for Chandru and Vishwa, and not real big bowling performance. I would say like decent performances, and no standout, I would say. And then going into dark horses, looking at the score 114, they might have had some hopes looking at their batting stalwarts. They have very good batting. And their opener Vishwa Shankar Subramaniam scoring 42 runs, and he was the mainstay in their batting. But looks like he did not get much support from other end except for like Sahil, who scored 17 runs, and then Mahesh 10 runs. No other double digits. So when one batsman is stuck at one end and there's no help from the other end, that kind of makes the chase a little bit difficult. They got 19 extras, but still, like in the end, they fell short by just 1 run. So it could have come down to that 1 extra or just one boundary or 1 quick run somewhere in the inning. So yeah, but again, it looks like right. Looking at the bowling for Rockers, I'm surprised that they like used 8 bowlers, or maybe it kind of worked for them where they used different bowlers and not let the opponent batsman settle down to a individual bowler. Chandra picking up 5 wickets. Whenever a bowler is picking like 4 to 5 wickets, I think that kind of dents the batting side, and very evident here that like Rockers won the game. It was a closely contested game, but again, like holding their nerve in these kind of games is like a big achievement. So kudos to Rockers and hard luck Dark Horses.
Yeah, hard luck to Dark Horses. And this game was umpired by Akash Patel of GLCC and Setu of KRCC. The next one in line is Blues versus Legends. This was umpired by Ajit Jaisingh of GLCC and Prasad of KRCC. Jesse, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there must have been a little bit spice up in this match before it got started, because there are a few players in Legends team now who were earlier or a couple of years back were part of Blues team, like Satish, Praveen, Shrikant, and all those guys. So and Morgan also. So I think so whenever you get a contest where a team or a couple of players are playing against teams who were the earlier part of, I'm not sure, but I somehow, whenever I see this in IPL also, I feel that there has to be a little bit extra motivation in that particular match, that okay, I have to perform well today because I'm playing against guys who I some time back used to play with. But yeah, so coming back to the game, I think Arjun Adbala, who I think was part of Team Kites till last year, he's a good all-rounder. He's a very handy cricketer to have in your side. He also likes to play his shots, rotate the strike, and also can be a handy bowler. And I think he and Satish had a decent run top of the order, and which helped them to score 93. But I think they would have liked to score many more, because at one point of time they were 62 for 4 in 15 overs. I mean, scoring more than 5 runs and 4 runs and over, and losing just 4 wickets. But I think they got their main hitter Praveen Arikatla dismissed at that junction, and I think which damaged their hopes of scoring briskly in the slog overs. So as you can see, there are very little contributions in the bottom half of the batting lineup, because they kept on losing wickets at regular intervals, which did not allow the anyone to free his arms and score briskly. So only they had to contain with singles and doubles, and I think that also worked in Blues' favor, because with this ball, if you are somehow able to get into the head of a batsman, that you just cannot play your game freely. That helps as a bowling side. So, but still, I think 93 is a pretty fighting score, and Legends proved that in the end. With when Blues came to bat, they could just score 69 runs, and they had actually a very poor start where they lost their top 3 batsmen for just 7-8 runs, I think, 9 runs, yeah. And then they had a very good partnership almost a match-winning partnership between Anant and Arvind for the 4th wicket or for the 5th wicket, which was 44 runs. When you have such a partnership, the key thing I think as a bowling side is to believe that one will bring 2 wickets, 2 will bring 3 wickets, and we won't let the other guys who will be coming next settle down. And I think it takes a lot of effort as a bowling side to keep believing in your abilities that, okay, the batting team is going through a good patch, they are having a good partnership, but we have to somehow get it back into the game. And I think the credit should go to Legends team for that actually. But I think Anant and Arvind had the game in their pocket, and I think they would be very, very disappointed by ending on the losing side. And yes, you can blame the batsman following you who scored 0-1, 0-1, 0. But honestly, I've repeatedly said that in my previous shows also. When you're settled, it's your responsibility to see your side through, because you can't expect everyone to be having a good day like you are having on the pitch. And once you get settled, I think it's your responsibility to finish the game. And I think one of Anant and Arvind should have stayed and finished this game. But credit goes to Legends, where Shrikant and Praveen, the pace battery of Legends team, both are excellent bowlers, took 3 wicket apiece, and Arjun Adbala proving his all-round worth and taking 2 wickets and helping Legends earn those 5 important points.
Okay, thank you. Before I go to Imthi for his own game, I just would like to finish KK here. KK's 2 games. He has guests sitting at home, so I want him to quickly finish his analysis of his games, and we can leave him and we can allow him to enjoy with his guests. Okay, KK.
Sorry, Jesse and Imthi.
So Panthers versus Canton 11. KK.
Again, one more high-scoring game, Jagan. Canton 11 is a new team, but most of their players have played DCL in the past. They combined together into this Canton 11. And the Panthers, having batted first, their top 5 batsmen played very responsibly, and there were good contributions from Rohit and Raghu, 16 and 15, and Nikhil and Satya. Then they put on those 30 runs, and at the end of 20 overs they were at 109. But I think they tried to accelerate and lost too many wickets in the end. If not, with that particular platform, should have easily made that 150 in the end. But again, the opposition had good bowlers in the form of Raza Ali and Javed Ahmed. And so Raza Ali, we have seen him take 30 plus wickets in 2016. Match on match, he was taking 3 wickets and 4 wickets. And we were even wondering what's the secret behind his consistent performance. But he's back again. He took 4 wickets in this game, and that's a very good performance from Raza. And when it came to Canton 11's batting, they lost 3 wickets in a hurry in the very beginning in the first 5 overs, and after that, it was Heather and Raza Ali again who contributed and consolidated the innings. Nazid, we know Nazid is a fierce hitter of the cricket ball, and he hits long sixes. If he would have stayed for say 4 or 5 more overs, then the game would have been a little different. But again, credit to Panthers. They have good bowlers. Satya, I have seen Satya play. He is fantastic both in batting and bowling, and in fielding he puts his life into it. He is a great player for Panthers. And Bharat Kuncharvelu, he took 4 wickets for 17 runs. He broke the backbone of Canton 11, and he is declared as the man of the match in this game. And congrats Bharat, congrats Panthers, and hard luck Canton 11. Probably you'll get your wins in the next games.
Okay, this match was umpired by Parthi Mehta of Raptors and Anish of Mustangs. Job well done, guys. The next one is FCC, your own game, FCC versus Risers.
Yeah, yes, Jagan. Well, what can I say more?
This one and say good night to today's show.
Okay, I did not play this game, but in this particular game, Tejas was leading the team, and firstly, I want to congratulate Tejas. He got married in the month of May. He missed the first 2 games for the team this year, and we are all very happy that Tejas got married, and At the same time, we are a little wary of the fact that he will not be playing too many games. So that is something we'll have to look into. But again,
quite obvious. We all can understand that.
So Tejas came back with a match-winning performance. He was the star in all three departments: batting, bowling, and fielding. So 20 runs, 2 wickets, and 2 catches. It's an all-round performance. And Risers batting needs to be commended here because they did not lose a wicket for the first 10 overs, and their openers put up a solid platform for them. And they scored 128 runs in 25 overs. I think they did not update the score well. It says in 0 overs they scored 128 runs, which will have an impact on the run rate.
Because their scorecard is full, all the details are there. Yet it says 0 overs. I don't know why.
That maybe we are not sure about that. But again, Sujan is bowling consistently. He's taking wickets consistently. He's in the top 3 bowlers list this year. He's breathing fire. He took 3 wickets in this game, 5 wickets in the previous game. I'm very happy for Sujan. And when it came to our batting, right, there are consistent performance from most of the players. Barring Rahul, out of the top 6, there were 5 double-digit scores: 10, 25, 20, 13, and 32. Mahindra, he is the key in the middle order. He scored 48 against Dynamites in the very first game, and again in this game he scored 32. In both the games, he was the not-out batsman. So he is being very consistent. He is taking the team home. So we are really happy about that fact. Yep, and one more point to be noted here is we added few more players this year, and Nitin is one of them. Nitin did not have a good game in this, but in the previous game he took 3 wickets for 10 runs. So I think SSC is in good shape this year. And the next game, not this week, but the DA next week, there will be a very good game between FCC and Warriors. I'm looking forward for it.
Okay, thanks a lot, KK. With that, we'll let you to enjoy with your guests. Okay.
Thank you so much for the team.
And that FCC. Okay. The next game is Blazers versus Indus Thunders, and I'm sure our own Imthi walk us through this game, but he wants to forget this game as quickly as possible. And sorry to remind him again, and this was umpired by Ganesh Kuti of Raptors and Ganesh Kuti of Knockers and by myself. Okay, Imthi.
Yeah, Jagan, like you said, I would really like to forget this game as soon as possible. But I was actually hoping that because you umpired the game, maybe you can give us a pretty neutral standpoint of this game, if you can.
See, the game changed because of that hat trick, and even that hat trick, I would say it's a combination of excellent bowling and the way the first one, the catch taken by Madhu, was awesome. IPL standard. He's an excellent fielder, and you were the third wicket, right, for the hat trick. And
yes.
I didn't like the way you took the guard also. So
okay.
I thought you'll stand little cross so that you'll be able to see the ball very well when a left-hander is bowling, that too when he's really bowling well. So somehow I felt like you're pointing towards, when you took the stance, your eyes, you're looking towards my left hand side. You know what I'm trying to say? The bowler is on my right hand side. So that's where you lost a little bit of sight on the bowling on the ball is what I felt. And the way you came forward and instead of middling that one, you edged it. So that's what at least I felt. And after that, most of your batsmen, instead of staying at the wicket, they tried for cross batted shots and playing Rahul, who in his balls most of the times they don't rise at all, and he's a wicket to wicket bowler. Most of the batsmen try to play across, and they were given LBWs, and that's where everything went wrong. Otherwise, if you look at even Sandeep Chetla, who took hat trick in the first over, second over, he ended up giving 5 runs. Sorry. Similarly, if you look at all their bowlers, with the exception of Rahul, everybody started giving runs, and your batsmen did not show the much required patience, is what I felt. Now, you tell me.
Yeah, I completely agree to what you're saying. I think we never recovered from that hat trick, and because the hat trick involved Hari and me, I think the team also got a little bit demoralized, where there was no runs on the board, and like we were looking at like five down for like 12 to 13 runs, I think. And once at that stage, I think mentally it was like very affecting on the game, onto the batsmen who followed up. That's not an excuse, I can tell, but yeah, maybe that was definitely a factor. And people, whoever came after those 3 wickets, they, instead of staying at the wicket, they were trying to score the runs and rotate, and maybe in that attempt they lost their way. Like it looked as if the whole team was completely not in a cricketing mode that day for some reason, except for Shibin, who was trying to stabilize one end and trying to get something going and the scoreboard ticking. Nobody else really actually showed up. We had got 11 extras, and if you take out those 11 extras from our score, 25 runs from the 10 batsmen, that is a very, very, very bad performance, if you ask me. And then bowling wise, I think Indus Thunder's point to point, very decent bowling, and we helped them get those wickets also. And just a point to note, their fielding is very athletic, and that also earned them some wickets, I would say. And I think they proved why they were the champions last year. When they got the momentum going in their way, they kind of stepped up and they strangled us for no room at all during our batting. And then coming halfway into the game, score of 36, it must be like a cakewalk for them. Aptly, their opener Varma, who we know is a big hitting batsman, he just came up and never allowed any of our bowlers to settle, including me. He scored 30 runs of those 17 balls and quickly finished the game in 5 overs. So complete credit to the Indus Thunder's team, and I think they have very well announced that they are here to stay after their last year's championship.
Who is vice captain of your team?
That's a good question. I don't know why you came up with this question, but there is no vice captain officially this year for us.
Okay, you should have one, especially when you are bowling, and because this is a low score game, and what I saw there was you are concentrating on your bowling than your field setup. So that's when you need a vice captain who can cross verify your thoughts here and there, especially when you are bowling.
Right,
at least that's what I felt. Okay, the next game, the next one is FHCC versus Pokeries. This game was umpired by Vihar Vaidya of Raptors and Gautam of Bowls. Jesse.
Yeah, I think good contributions from Ravi Teja Reddy, who is one of the finest in the league, especially when he's on song. He's a treat to watch. And Shanmugam, who is now a veteran for Team Pokeries, who always chips in when the odds are down and scores for them. And so after the shocking start from Satish and Bala, where both of them were dismissed early, Ravi and Vignesh actually also got down pretty soon. So it all got down to Ravi and Ranjit. And Ranjit became the anchor of the innings, who made sure that there is no collapse resulting from a mini collapse, which was there for the first 3 wickets, and had a good partnership with Ravi for the 5th wicket and 4th wicket rather. And Ravi and Ranjit then settled down the nerves and Ravi was playing briskly, scoring 20 runs off 29 balls, including a boundary. And after that, Shanmugam just came and changed the complexion of the game, and that's I think is a reward of a good partnership, a stable partnership between Ravi and Ranjit. Because if another wicket would have gone down, Shan would not have been able to play his natural game, which is to attack the ball. So I think Shan assessed the situation perfectly and then went for his shots, which was followed by another double-digit contribution from Aditya, who is a good all-rounder for Team Pokeries, and which managed Pokeries to score 113 runs, but not able to play their full quota of 25 overs. I think they would have disappointed themselves. But 113 was nonetheless a good score. But I would not say a score where you are absolutely sure that you just have the very strong hand or the upper hand in the game. You have to go and do the hard work still with the ball. So when FHCC then turned to bat, I think it was a nightmare because when you have your number 11 scoring the highest runs and that too just 11, there is not much that you can talk about batting in that particular department. And I see Ali Shan did not bat, or maybe he had to leave, or I don't know what, or maybe the score is not updated properly. So he's a decent bat. I think he can slog the ball a long way, but 1, 5, 2, 6, 4, 3, 0, 1, 1, it doesn't sound like a very good scorecard and a scorecard which you want to forget as a batting side. And as a result, they were dismissed for 53 runs, with Vignesh getting those 5 wickets and 2 wickets apiece for their captain Ravi and Shashi Kumar. And I would say another convincing victory, like some of the matches earlier in this week.
Okay, the next one is MCC Miles versus Troy Hawks. Again, it goes to you, Jesse. This was umpired by Bharat of Bulls and Saad Haider of Brownstown.
Yeah,
Jesse, your thoughts.
Yeah, so this match also, I think MCC Miles with their previous experience in a couple of games where they were able to cross the barrier of 100 runs, I think would have certainly helped their mentality after being stuck for 109 runs, that we can still do that. If we can do that batting first, we can still do that batting second if we play just the normal cricket and without thinking without taking the scoreboard pressure. So 110 to chase, I think it's a good effort and we should applaud MCC Miles. And going into the details, I think Troy Hawks had a pretty good day with the bat, with Santosh up front and Naveen coming one down, had a brilliant partnership which was broken in the 14th over with Santosh getting out on the score of 46. But Naveen continued and his good run, and then had good partnerships with Sanjeev and Joydeep Das, who scored 16 runs of 16 balls, which is a very good contribution. And I think they scored those 109 runs in 23.2 overs, and the 10 balls that they did not face, I think they would certainly be disappointed with the fact that they could not play their full quota of overs. Because if you see in the last Shamshuddin, Vijay, Satwik, Vishnu and Dhanraj, nobody contributed. 1-0, 1-0-0 are the contributions from the last 5, which derails you from your target or from your expected score that you, at one point of time after getting a very good brisk start top of the order, you expect at least one guy in the lower order or the bottom or the lower middle order to at least score those 15-20 runs, so that they could have gone, I think, easily above 125, but it was only 109. And I think what restricted them was a good bowling show from Praneeth, especially, who dismissed 3 of the last 4 wickets to fall with and bagging those 4 important wickets, just giving 12 runs in his 4 overs. And I think that's a fantastic day. If you're as a bowler, when you're giving 12 runs in your 4 overs and taking 4 wickets and restricting the opponents to 109 especially when at a time they could have looking at 125. And talking about MCC Miles batting, Praneeth also came to open, and with Ram, the veteran, they had a good partnership, and Ram is a good rotator of the strike. So they contributed with 8 runs each, but I think they knew that to win this sort of a match, to score 110 runs batting second, they need actually a significant contribution from one of their main batsmen, and it was all on the shoulders of Rahul Chenna in this match, who scored 44 unbeaten runs, and that's how you finish a match. You get the satisfaction of being there when your team scores the final runs, when you score the final runs, and I think it was a fantastic performance from Rahul. And maybe when there were a little bit of jitters, a guy like Sanjay is the perfect foil for your team, because he came, he hit those sixes, and he ended the match inside 18 overs, made sure that their team get the bonus point also, which might have looked a little difficult when you're chasing 110. But yeah, Sanjay is a kind of a guy when it's his day, if you give the ball in his area more times than less, he's going to clear the fence. And 24 of 8 balls, 3 sixes, as simple as that. you can't just do anything as a bowler sometimes against the players like these. So I think a very clinical performance by MCC Miles, and especially Rahul Chenna, fantastic batting.
Okay, the next one is KECC versus Avengers. This one was umpired by Rohit of Raptors, again Rohit of KRCC. Imthi.
Yes, Jagan. Going into this game, it was another high-scoring game. KECC winning the toss, electing to bat, posting a huge total of 146. Like we have been talking, 100 plus is like a norm in this with this format, with this new ball. Looking at the scorecard, they had a very good batting performances from Sushant and Hemant, the mainstays of their batting card. It looks like they had a 62-run partnership for the second wicket, which kind of laid the platform for them, and also the extras, 26 extras helping in their cause. Some decent contributions from Arjun and Vijay, 11 runs each down the order. All in all, ending up at 146 runs. Looking at the bowling for Avengers, our team has played against Avengers, and to be frank, other than like couple of bowlers, I don't see a sting in their bowling attack. So they might need to step up their game in the bowling department if they want to get some wins under their belt. Just looking at this game, except Murthy and Rohit, who picked 3 wickets and 2 wickets each, with not many wickets towards the contribution, but there have been runs leaked at like 10 runs per over, 7.5 runs per over. So when you have like runs flowing at that rate, it's very difficult to contain the opponent. Going halfway into the game, like 146, chasing 146 would have been a daunting task for Avengers. Looked like they started off decently. Actually, they lost their first wicket in the very first over, so they had a setback in the very first over, and then maybe after that tried to stabilize a little bit, but they kept losing wickets at regular intervals. Looking at their fall of wickets, they kept losing wickets for every 5-10 runs after that, and when you have wickets going down at a consistent rate, it's very difficult to keep up with the run rate, especially when you're chasing 146 runs. And that's very evident in the scorecard also. There is the extras are the highest scorer, 22 runs, and then there is only another one double-digit score of 13 runs from Sudhir Komineni. Going into the bowling for KECC, again another 5-wicket haul. Charan Jagannath, 5 for 19. Looks like he was their key bowler who kind of dented the chase for Avengers. Aptly, he should be the man of the match, and yes, he's been declared as man of the match. So congrats to KECC for continuing their winning run, and hard luck, Avengers.
Okay, the next game of the night is Warriors versus Strikers, umpired by Satish and Praveen of Legends. Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah. So before starting in the details of the match, a big thanks to Satish for volunteering to umpire this game on a weekday. We played this game on Monday because we had a washout on Sunday, unfortunately, and both the teams agreed that if at all they can play, they should play. So Satish and Praveen both showed up, and we had a complete game. We decided to go with 20 overs because we started at around 6:30, 6:35, 40. So strikers won the toss and opted to bat first, and actually never got settled into their batting rhythm with Bhargav and Mukul and Hemant, both all these bowlers uh, just knocking wickets at regular intervals, with Bhargav taking the first two, and then Mukul, I think, was amazing because there at the point of the strikers batting, there was a little bit of wind blowing at a high speed uh, towards the leg side, which means if as a bowler you can just bring the ball a little bit in, but the way he managed to bring the ball in, I think it was spectacular. Strikers were recording the match, and when I saw that recording, I could not believe my eyes how difficult he was on that particular day to face, because there was one guy who got settled and he went for a drive and his leg stump knocked up, and another batsman who then tried to leave a ball thinking it's outside his off stump or fifth, sixth stump line, his middle stump knocked down. So that was a sight to watch actually, and a treat for anyone who was witnessing the match. And then Kapil Chaudhary, I think the captain of Strikers team, had a fantastic game both with bat, ball, and also in the field. He took a brilliant catch also. So Kapil was the lone stay there. He actually played uh, well with the tail enders also, trying to uh, make them take strike just for one or two balls of an over. And in doing that, he scored well also, hitting a couple of boundaries of me, and one other four that he hit was, I think, of Hemant. So uh, he actually played well, and was the only reason strikers were able to manage 59 runs in their quota of 20 overs. Uh, and in the batting department, they started well. I think both the teams would say it was a decent start, but strikers had a better start in the bowling because Kapil took one of the opener Bhargav, and then the number three batsman also, and then one of their left-hand spinners also took a wicket. And for a fraction of second, there were a little bit of jitters in the Warriors dugout that this might go down till the wire, because we played at Founders Park and it is white soil, so sometimes the tendency of that ground is that the ball starts keeping low, and it was starting to happen. But then we have a freak in the Warriors camp named Hemant. I call him freak because he does things which are very very weird. Because you turn up one day and he would look like he's just not into the game, and he's not able to focus. And on another day, he's a guy who is one of the biggest match winners in the entire league. And on that day, fortunately for Warriors, he was the best Hemant that we see. And he scored 27 runs in 8 balls, hitting four sixes, and those four sixes actually were on the trot. Two on the last two balls of an over, and then someone gave him the strike, and then he hit the next two balls for sixes and finished the match inside the 10 overs. And we can say that another convincing victory for Team Warriors after the jitters that they had in their last game against Mustangs.
Okay, with that we covered all the games from last week, and let's quickly jump into predictions. Knockers versus FHCC. I'm thinking it is Knockers. Any objections there?
No, yeah, knockers it is.
Okay. Gladiators versus Rockers. Again, it is Gladiators.
Yeah.
Brownstown versus Dockers. I want you guys to take a vote here. Jesse.
Brownstone versus
Dark Horses.
Okay. Brownstown.
Imthi.
Brownstone for me too.
Okay. Legends versus Thunders. Imthi.
This would be an interesting matchup, looking at their current forms, but I think I'll go with Indus Thunders.
Jesse.
Yeah. Indus Thunders for me too, but I expect a very good fight from Team Legends.
Okay. Detroit Bulls versus Blues. Jesse.
Bulls for me.
Okay. Imthi.
Yeah, same, Bulls.
Knight Riders versus TCS Stallions. Jesse.
Knight Riders is KRCC, right?
KRCC.
Yeah. This also. Jagan, do you know when is the game? Saturday or Sunday?
This is Saturday morning 8 o'clock. Morning 9
8
o'clock.
o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah. I'll go with TCS Stallions. Yeah.
Imthi.
TCS Stallions.
Okay. Safari versus Risers. I think Risers.
Yeah, Risers.
Next one is Raptors versus Troy Hawks. Raptors. Any objections there?
Yeah. No.
Okay. The next one is
No,
GLC.
but Raptors might be really looking forward for this game for their first official full game.
First game for them. They lost what, 2 games or 3 games?
3 games, I think. To the range.
3. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but they haven't played a full game yet. That's for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the first game, I know for sure, and there's a possibility of rain also. So you never know what is going to happen. But luckily, it is afternoon game, so they can wait till 9 o'clock to play the game. Right? Light goes down around 9 o'clock.
Correct.
The next one is GLCC versus Kites. I cannot comment on this one. So Jesse.
Yeah, GLCC for me.
Imthi.
Same here, GLCC.
Mustangs versus FCC Agni. This is going to be a very interesting game. Mustangs are really, though they are new and they are threatening. Jesse.
Yeah, I'll still go with Agni because I think what I feel of Mustangs as of now that it's a one-man show and you can't go really too far with that sort of a strategy, and I think Agni is good enough team to beat Mustangs.
Okay, Imthi, what do you say?
Same. I'll go with Agni.
Okay, India's Bulls versus MCC Miles. I'm thinking MCC Miles. What do you guys say, Jesse?
Yeah, I'll go with MCC Miles, but I see this match going till the wire.
Okay.
Same thoughts. I think this will be a very closely contested game too.
So still both are going with Miles, right?
Yes.
Okay. The last game of the night is Pokeries versus Lions. And I'm thinking it is going to be Pokeries. Any objections there?
No.
Okay.
No.
With that, we'll conclude tonight's show here. Thanks a lot, Jesse. Thank you, Imthi. And thanks to KK. Keep listening DCL Radio. This is DCL Talk Show on DCL Radio. Thank you. Good night.